Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalaka Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Bhagavad-gita as it is, chapter 2, text 44. Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam tayapahita chetasam devasayam buddhihi samadho na vidhiyate. In Bhagavad-gita, Krishna teaches us to fix our minds. Specifically, the mind, Krishna tells us, should be fixed on Him. Manmana, he says, think of me. And how to think of Him? Ananya cheta satata. Yomam smarati nityasha. He refers to that devotee who is always thinking of Him without deviation. This is Samadhi. In the morning we were discussing the eightfold yoga system, which culminates in Samadhi. The definition is given here of Samadhi as fixed mind. Now, some people say that it doesn't matter what the mind is fixed on, but it should be fixed. And they say that you can meditate in any way you like, and in this way the mind should be fixed. But specifically the mind should be fixed on Krishna. Now, if we say the mind should be fixed on Krishna, that can be understood in different ways. Because different people have different understandings of what is Krishna. Some people think that Krishna is a good object to meditate on, but then when the mind is fixed, then no more need to meditate. And others think of Krishna as the supreme controller, Parameshwara, which is correct. But Bhakti, in its highest sense, means to understand Krishna not only as the supreme controller, but as the supreme beautiful, the supreme friend, and the supreme source of all pleasure. That He is the supreme Lord means that He is the supreme object of service. But that service is actually loving service when we love Him not simply as the supreme controller, but as the supreme friend. And therefore we find descriptions in Srimad Bhagavatam of Krishna running and dancing with his boyfriends, young boys, in the groves of Vrindavan. This is the pinnacle of theism. Now, here it's stated that one can attain Samadhi. How to attain Samadhi? Here in this verse, Samadhi is being described. Now, it does not seem that running around in cowherd pastures has got anything to do with Samadhi. Up to this very day, if you go in the countryside, you'll find young boys running along behind cows with sticks. And it doesn't seem to be like anything to do with spiritual life. And it isn't. So how can we say that Krishna consciousness means to worship a cowherd boy? What's that got to do with God? It's not surprising if we have this doubt, because even Lord Brahma had this doubt. And he happens to be the most intelligent person in the universe. Even one of his heads is more intelligent than anyone else in the universe, and he's got 4 heads. And he is known as Kamalasana. He sits on the lotus throne that is sprouted from the navel of Lord Narayana, and he himself is the son of Narayana. And he knows that. In Christianity, they say Jesus is the Son of God. We don't deny that. But Brahma is the first Son of God in this universe. There are many others also. So Brahma, he happens to know that he is the son of God. And from time to time, he prays to Narayana to appear within this universe. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears from time to time within the universe when there's too much disturbance by the demons. So when the demons disturb, when the asuras disturb the devas fight back. But sometimes if they find themselves overwhelmed, and then they approach Lord Brahma. And he, in that circumstance, may approach Lord Vishnu to intervene. So Brahma is the son of Lord Vishnu, and he appealed to Vishnu to appear, which he did as Lord Krishna, who is actually the origin of Vishnu. So, it might be a good idea to just unplug it. If you leave it off, then it makes a noise all the time. So, when Krishna was in the womb of Devaki, the demigods headed by Lord Brahma offered him prayers. So, Lord Brahma knows who is Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when he saw Krishna running barefoot with cowherd boys, and some of them stealing his lunchbox, some of them jumping on his back, he had a doubt. Is this really God? So then Brahma, he tested Krishna, which was a foolish thing to do. Impelled by at least superficially we can say it was foolish. We don't say Lord Brahma is foolish. At least superficially we can say it's foolish. We don't say Lord Brahma. But impelled by the Leela Shakti of the Lord Brahma stole the cowherd boys and calves from him. But then he saw that Krishna still had his cowherd boys and calves with him. So he attempted to bewilder Krishna, but as a result, he himself became bewildered by Krishna. He was thinking, I am very great, and who is this Krishna running around with bare feet, chasing after cows? And then Krishna showed that these replacement cows and calves were all Vishnu forms. All these Vishnu forms were being worshipped by many Brahmas, Rudras, and so many different demigods. So at this point, Lord Brahma offered many important prayers to Lord Krishna, of which one is Nadu. Jananta eva janantu kimbahuta mana prabho manasa vapasa vacho vaivavam tava gocharaha. He said that someone may say that I understand Krishna. Let them say like that. But as far as I am concerned, Krishna is not possible to understand by any mental, intellectual, or sensual effort. So to play with Krishna, this is the highest samadhi. This is difficult for the yogis to understand. What to speak of the yogis is even difficult for Lord Brahma to understand. Because samadhi can be obtained by the yoga system by stopping all activities. No sensual activities. No frivolous activities. No running behind cows. No playing on flutes. No eating delicious foods. So the concept of samadhi of the yogis is a very sober one. can say Dhira. Even those yogis who are meditating on Lord Vishnu, they perceive of him as a very grand figure. The Samadhi of the devotee is to play with Krishna. Krishna's activities are often misunderstood because spiritual life means to become withdrawn from sensual activity. No one can become advanced in spiritual life if he is an Epicurean, sense enjoyer. But then we see that Krishna himself appears to be a sense enjoyer. Krishna is dancing with women, enjoying nice food, playing music, dancing, dressed in very nice clothes, showing off his strength by fighting. So, what's spiritual about that? The difference is one of quality. That Krishna's sense enjoyment is not the depraved sense enjoyment of this material world. No one can understand the sense enjoyment of Krishna who is interested in his own personal material sense enjoyment. Even if one has the desire to enjoy Krishna consciousness, that will bar him from entering into Krishna consciousness. That will bar him, that will bar him from entering into Krishna consciousness. Prevent him. Because Krishna consciousness means to act for Krishna's enjoyment. Now we may think, well, I shall sit at home and be Krishna conscious peacefully by myself. That is one kind of Krishna consciousness. But it is not pure Krishna consciousness. Because actual Krishna consciousness means to do what Krishna wants us to do. We may say, well, at home I'm sitting and chanting by myself, and Krishna likes, Krishna tells us to chant, so I'm doing that. So to do so is certainly far better than sitting at home and watching TV. Of course, I've seen some people who watch TV and chant at the same time, but it's not a very good idea. Not recommended. But if you think that, well, at the temple it's always crowded and sometimes there's some disturbance, so let me just be peacefully at home chanting Hare Krishna. You may think like that. This is something like Arjuna's proposition, that I don't want to fight, so let me peacefully be a good person without fighting. Arjuna, he wasn't proposing to be against Krishna. He wasn't proposing to be a non-devotee. He was just proposing, well, I'll be a devotee peacefully. Why get involved in all this trouble? Krishna didn't accept that. This is not anaya jushtama swargyam kirti karam Arjuna. This is not befitting you, Arjuna. You are meant for better things than this. Now Arjuna could say, oh yeah, what's wrong? I want to be peaceful, I want to be good, and I'll be a devotee. Now what's wrong with that? Why should I get involved in this fighting just for sense enjoyment so we can enjoy the kingdom? Rather, I'll withdraw from the fighting and that will show I'm more detached. But Krishna pointed out to him that your apparent vairagya is actually asakti. Because your so-called renunciation is not on the basis of what I, Krishna, want, but on the basis of what you want, and that is not actually renunciation. So a devotee who is involved in this world for the sake of fulfilling the mission of Krishna, if he's actually doing that for the pleasure of Krishna, he's far better than the so-called renounced yogi. Anashrita karma phalam kayam karma karoti sasanyasi sayogi cha nanirajnina chakriya. Krishna says one who performs his duty as he is obliged to, without being attached to the results of the work, he is the real sannyasi, he is the real yogi, not one who gives up all activities, not one who simply withdraws from the world. So Krishna instructed Arjuna how to be in Samadhi. Think of me and fight. Arjuna proposed, I will go away and think of you, Krishna. And Krishna said, you want to think of me? Very good, but fight also. But how can I fight and think of you? How can I fight and think of anything else? But Krishna told us, Mananasra Yudhyacha. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti. He said, I will give you the intelligence. If you are sincere to serve me, I will give you the intelligence by which you can do so. Krishna told Arjuna. So the complete concept of Samadhi is dynamic, not static. The Samadhi of Hanuman, jumping to Lanka, looking for Sita, burning Lanka, is far more advanced than that of the yogis sitting in caves. The Samadhi of the gopis, hearing Krishna's flute and running to Krishna. They're not caring for the restrictions of their husbands or fathers. This is the highest Samadhi. Their minds completely fixed on Krishna. And Krishna appreciates them. Nasadhyati mam yoga, Krishna says, I cannot be properly worshipped by the yoga process. Nor by following Varnashram Dharma, nor by Sankhya, Nadhanam Sankhya Udara. Krishna says these things cannot satisfy me, yatha bhakti mamajita, cannot satisfy in the same way as devotional service offered to me. But that dynamic activity in Krishna consciousness cannot take place if one is interested in one's own personal sense enjoyment. Even the sense enjoyment of enjoying Krishna, I shall sit peacefully and chant Hare Krishna as long as there is no disturbance. Several times I've heard of devotees, they're daily, dutifully chanting on Mala 16 rounds. Then some major problem comes, maybe in the home or something like that. And they said, well, my mind was so disturbed I couldn't chant. That time you should chant more. The difficulty is an opportunity to take shelter of Krishna more. But if we think that first of all everything should be peaceful and comfortable and nice, and then I shall chant Hare Krishna, that is also Krishna conscious but in a neophyte stage. Sometimes people come to us and say, well, since I started chanting Hare Krishna, my difficulties increased so much. Generally we go to temples and we pray to God to get free from difficulties. But now I'm chanting Hare Krishna, no difficulties are coming. You say, Krishna's being very merciful to you. Recently some brothers of one very big business family, they came to me in a very distressed condition. They had lost so much money, crores and crores of rupees, and their reputation was spoiled because they couldn't pay, they had different debtors and they couldn't pay. So I told them, you're very lucky. Krishna is taking away all your material attachments. So far you were thinking this is our money. So that is a thief's mentality. Thief. So you are living as thieves, and now you can understand nothing belongs to you, everything belongs to Krishna. So they had come to me, I suppose, expecting some blessing, that they could get all their money back. Generally people think that God's duty is to fulfill our desires for satisfaction. But no, it is our duty to fulfill God's desires for satisfaction. You may say, well, that's not fair. But reality is not a democracy. Reality is autocracy. Reality is that we are controlled and He is the controller. Fortunately, he is a benevolent autocrat, and his love for us is beyond our imagination. Foolish people think that God's love for us is demonstrated by giving us facilities for sense enjoyment. But Krishna himself says that my mercy is demonstrated by taking away facilities for sense enjoyment. To those who I am merciful to, Krishna says, I gradually take away all their wealth. So the yogis, one of the things they do is stand on their heads. In Bhakti Yoga, if we're actually to take to Bhakti Yoga, then all our ideas have to be put on their heads, turned upside down. That I'm coming to God for peace, you may not get peace. Actually, we will get peace. Not in the way we might expect it. Generally people think peace is that everything will be, my whole life there will be no disturbance to my sense enjoyment. This is what they think of as peace. But Krishna's mercy on us will be that He will smash all prospects for our sense enjoyment. So that we have no other recourse but to take shelter of Him. And therefore we shall feel great peace in our hearts. This is demonstrated in the narration of the prostitute Pingala, who, being full of desire, waited for customers. All night she waited, no customers. And then she thought, anyway, what's the use? Let me take shelter of Krishna. Nairasha Paramasukham. She realized that disappointment gives rise to the highest happiness. Nairasha is generally translated as disappointment. But it also means when we have no more hope of any material enjoyment, then we can actually attain the Samadhi of loving Krishna. As long as we are thinking of my own sense enjoyment, we cannot actually enter into Krishna consciousness. We are meant to facilitate Krishna's sense enjoyment. But if we have desires for our own sense enjoyment, then we shall be envious of Krishna. Why should he enjoy? I should enjoy, we shall say. When we are fully dedicated to the principle of acting for Krishna's sense enjoyment, that is Samadhi, that is Bhakti. When we are prepared to accept distress to facilitate Krishna's happiness, that is Samadhi. For instance, Srila Prabhupada gave up the happiness of living peacefully in Vrindavan to go amongst the savages of America and teach them Krishna consciousness. He went with no money, no contacts. He had to go through so many difficulties. But he accepted that for the sake of satisfying Krishna. This is Samadhi. This is the standard of Bhakti. It is not possible to even begin to understand this Bhakti if one is thinking of how to satisfy his own senses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any question?
Yes. Sometimes I find that the devotees during the beginning stage when they are neophytes, while preaching to neophyte devotees, many devotees say that we can encourage the devotees to take part in kirtan. If they are interested towards sense gratification, divert that towards Krishna consciousness, like hear nice songs, you come to the temple, attend kirtan, and take Krishna prasad, and participate in Krishna consciousness, and that will gradually bring them to the pure Krishna consciousness. So, can we take that as an initial beginning, or should we, from the beginning, say it down as only include Krishna consciousness?
Say it in Tamil, please. You can say both. You can say both things. Come here, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Enjoy the nice prasadam and the nice kirtan. And then tell them that you are not the enjoyer, you are the servant of prasadam. And then their head will spin. First their head will spin from eating so much prasadam. What you do, you fill them up with so much prasadam that they can't move. When they can't move, you preach them so heavily. Both. They should... Actually, even that enjoyment, if we say, come and enjoy that hearing the kirtan. But if the kirtan is performed by pure devotees, then there's no quality of material enjoyment in that. The only way they can enjoy it is by coming to the spirit, at least initially to the spiritual platform. Materially speaking, kirtan as is generally performed in our temples is not musically very enjoyable. Musically, it's not on the standard of a classical music, Karnataka or something music performance. Or it's not like some rock concert. Sometimes it is, but it shouldn't be. It's not musically on the level. It's not on the level of professional musicians. So actually, we can only appreciate that if we have at least some beginning, genuine appreciation of Krishna. So we can say, come and enjoy. But then when they come, we can tell them, you're not the enjoyer. But we can speak the truth. Those who are sincere, they will appreciate. They may not be able to digest all at once, but they will appreciate there's something valuable here. If we present Krishna consciousness just as, well, it's like this, and if you like, you can come, and then what's the difference between this and any other mundane religious sect? Unless we can impress upon people the absolute necessity to surrender to Krishna, then it just seems that it's just like any other religious teaching. So genuine seekers may be disappointed. Anything else?
What's the difference between Yoga Maya and Maha Maya?
Yoga Maya is the internal potency of the Lord which facilitates His pastimes. By which, for instance, Nadu Yashoda thinks that the Supreme Personality of Godhead needs to suck her breast, otherwise he will not get proper nourishment. What's that verse? That's Stano Pibo. That Parikshit Maharaj asks. But how could Mother Yashoda be so fortunate that the Supreme Person, what kind of mercy did she have that the Supreme Personality of Godhead could suck her breast? Anyway, it's one of the shlokas. There's so many. There's another. What is that? Shukadeva Goswami himself says that Nimam Vrincho Nababo Nashirapyanga Ashraya Prasadam Lebhire Gopi Yat Tat Prapa Vimuktidat. In relationship to Yashoda's tying up Krishna. Yashoda Mai's tying up Krishna. He said that Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and even Lakshmi, who is always on the chest of the Lord, they could not get the same mercy that Mother Yashoda got, that she was able to tie up Krishna, who is the giver of liberation to others. So Maya means mercy, and it is the mercy of the Lord that His Yoga Maya Shakti bewilders them into thinking that He's not God. Out of love for Him, they forget that He's God. And Maha Maya is the Shakti that facilitates the conditioned souls forgetting that Krishna is God out of envy of Him. By Yoga Maya, the pure devotees forget that Krishna is God so that they can serve Him in a best manner. And by Maha Maya, they forget that He is God so that they can give up his service altogether. Yogamaya facilitating Krishna sense enjoyment. And Mahamaya facilitates one's own imitative sense enjoyment. Yogamaya facilitates the most intense service to the Supreme Lord. And Mahamaya facilitates the illusion of thinking that I myself am God. Ishvaraham